All right, in this video, we're going to talk about the long-term motive that's at play here behind the COPA case. It's much bigger than just identifying somebody as Satoshi Nakamoto or not identifying him. So stay tuned. Let's break this down, and we're going to go deep on this one. It's going to be cool. All right, so the story, the according to the legend goes that when Satoshi Nakamoto left the project, and was it 2011, whatnot, whatever the record flagged, right around that time frame, that around that same time frame, okay, Dr. Wright, he actually started a research group and a team to begin to put together the intellectual property over the blockchain, over Bitcoin. And so, eventually around like 2014 or so, I think it was around 45 people. And then around 2015, when he got exposed, ousted, he actually combined forces with financiers and management, and they put together they combined the original team with the intellectual property that he'd been building into what was called nChain, and what is known as nChain now. And it is my opinion, and it looks like a very strong motive that the COPA case is not necessarily about, well, obviously we know what it's about, it's a cause of action, but the real motive behind it in the long-term perspective, not the ruling in this case, but the long-term perspective is to go after the 800-pound gorilla, and which is the patent fortress over the blockchain industry. And let me just introduce people to it just a little bit, a limited perspective from a non-lawyer's perspective. So stand by. So nChain is, according to LexisNexis, here 2023 Global Top 100, you can see here that nChain is one of the top information and technology patent holders in the world. Right here, this is on there. I think that also not only 2023 but also 2022. This is the LexisNexis report for 2023. So here's the facts that support this. Now, according to the nChain background, there's a total of 3,900 patents and applications, of which 1,090 have already been granted since nChain started in 2015. And then going back into the research around, say, 2011 or 10 or whenever the patents began to being written prior to that with the original team. So the big one is actually the central bank digital currency, which people have heard the buzzwords on. And, what is likely going on here is that because nChain holds the patents over this field, what they're offering is licensing to these central banks to where they can use, if they want to build their own technology, they can pay nChain a licensing fee, or they can use the blockchain that nChain has provided the patenting, basically the mirror patenting for, which is the BSV blockchain, for no charge. And it works for massive scaling right now and very low fees. I mean, like less than a cent. So, simply put, central bank digital currency is a form of central bank payment that can be operated alongside existing physical cash and improve financial access to all security to all citizens. So they provide trusted money and money that activates as a medium of exchange. With the use of blockchain technology, central banks can address the declining use of physical cash and increase the new forms of private money with centrally issued CBDCs that is a better fit for modern design era. Now, there's retail, there's wholesale. We've got cases for the wholesale, and then also how they operate. You've got users, access to via payment interface providers, the central bank digital currency, core ledger. A lot of people are probably scared of this, rightfully so, because, why wouldn't you be scared of some sort of a new central bank digital currency? Well, it seems like, all politics aside, really don't know, but it seems like this seems to be where things are going. Well, that we don't really have necessarily control of that. Now, what's different about this as opposed to, let's say, a independent private blockchain ledger or controlled by another entity? Well, what nChain's doing is it's making it all of the entire CBDC then goes onto to a public ledger. Okay, a public ledger meaning the BSV blockchain, and on that public ledger, open, honest transactions can occur and complete audit and traceability to everything. So while the governments get the central bank the benefit that they want because they're able to operate very for next to nothing. I think there's no licensing fee if you're using the BSV blockchain. They're also in compliance with all the regulatory framework, by doing it that way. So it's cheaper. It's legal. Okay. And then the last benefit for the public is the public gets to see the transparency, all the transactions. They have an auditable record on a public block, not just a public blockchain, but the original blockchain, the original invention, Bitcoin. So it's not something new or a new invention that is operating privately or in some discrete manner and able to change and roll back transactions. When something happens, it's a public ledger, it's completely auditable, it's noticeable, and nobody can cheat on it. Isn't that what we really want? Just transparency. So, to summarize, I think this is the real motive behind the suit is the COPA suit is to really, their goal is, of course, to discredit Craig. Craig is behind, the chief brain, the chief scientist, or has been the chief author of most of these patents at nChain, most or all, I think all of them. And, so his brain has been authorizing all these inventions. And so they want to discredit him and then eventually go after the patent portfolio and somehow discredit the patents in the future. I think that's really the long game here that's going on. And, as you can see, it's going to be, they got to do something. I don't know how it seems like they're just late to the party on one side. When they're coming to the patents, it's just, nChain seems to have really cornered the market on CBDCs. And it's only a matter of time before the central banks realize, they go out and they hire a research team or they see this video and they start to realize that, okay, let's build a blockchain. Let's do a CBDC. How do we do it legally? And they go on Lexis, they start researching all this and all the regulations, say, oh my gosh, okay, this company already here, nChain, has already built all the patents licensed all the patents and the inventions around this type of the blockchain. Well, how does it work? How do we do it? Oh, we can do it right now on BSV blockchain. I see. And there's no actual cost to do it. And the transaction fees are basically almost free. So it's a really harmonious, it's very harmonious when you're really starting to get into this. So it's fascinating. My limited understanding of nChain, I've met a couple of the guys over there, met their lead chief IT officer before in Dubai. I should talk to him. Really smart people. I mean, so smart that it's hard to kind of get their thinking back down to basic level, so, but brilliant, super interesting. Here's the motive. I think the real motive behind the COPA case. So hopefully this video helps you. If you did, hit the like button. Be sure to share the video, get the word out there. And I'm not going to be there for sure. I have a couple of meetings and interviews I'm going to be doing, coming up here shortly, but they're going to be out here in San Francisco Bay Area. So it doesn't look like I'll be there, at least not for the witness hearing on Monday. I'm not going to be there for sure. All right. So stay tuned. More to come. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We'll see you guys at the very top.